All right, we're gonna try this again. I guess I haven't had enough coffee. I started filming and my GoPro battery said beep, 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 shut down. But anyway, Buenos Dias YouTube ×2. DJ and I got in here early. We're gonna run on the Lambo today. Project Lambo Day, I don't know, whatever. I always mess those up, so we're gonna stay hush about that. But today in this video, what we're gonna get into is DJ's still finishing some cabling. Hopefully we're gonna get into doing some cabling on the amp rack, but I think that might be its own video. But I do have the enclosure mocked up. So we got it mounted yesterday. We got some woofers mounted in it. Today we're gonna trim it out and do some cool stuff. So we're gonna drink some coffee, get a little white girl wasted, and do some work today. So y'all check us out. Hey DJ.
Hi.
What we got going on in here?
We are cabling the frunk.
The frunk?
The frunk. I don't know if we'll ever get used to saying that.
Yep. So we got a bunch of cables here. This is a lot of the stuff you saw from part one. Now it's all getting connected. So lots and lots and lots of cabling. So it's a lot of our lighting accessories, our audio system, the whole shebang. Oh yeah, train horns.
Yep. Train horns and Lamborghini. Yep. We're doing that.
Yeah, that happened. Yeah, so we're gonna cover that. Like once DJ gets through this, we're gonna do the enclosure today. So we'll show you where you're at with this. But this should be our next video. We're gonna get into the amp rack and everything. But so what we got here, we basically got just a basic wedge enclosure. It's a pair of Audiomobile 10s. So we have, back here we did some brackets. I don't know if you can really see back there. Let's see. So there's some factory nutserts in the back wall there. So we just use some angle brackets and some M6 hardware. This will actually through bolt. We just have it screwed right now just to hold it in place for all this mock-up. But so what we're gonna do today is we're gonna trim this guy out. So build some panels. We gotta do a grill over the woofers. Maybe incorporate a badge for the client and stuff. We're gonna see what kind of space we have available and how it trims out. Should be an interesting one. I mean, it looks pretty straightforward, but it's not. So we're gonna go make some basic shapes. Try to just like we always do, use some lines on the car and try to make it look Lamborghini. So we're gonna get rolling. So going in. All right, guys, we want to show you where we're at. We got the center section of our trim kind of put together in the Lambo here. So let's show you what we got. I know we were doing a bunch of time lapse here. So this is going to kind of be our center section here. What we did a trim to sit over there. We're actually going to do a pressed grill in this, and we still have to do some profiling, obviously, to get it what we want exactly. But we're also going to mold it into the bottom of the console here just to clean that transition up. But if you take a look on the back here, let's see if we can get this out. So on the back side, so we actually did a rabbet, a little groove on the top and bottom there. That's going to be for our carpet, because we do have to carpet that lip. And then we also left ourselves another spot for 3/8. It's just a bunch of stacked 3/8 in here. But we left ourselves a little spot so that way we can put some lighting on this, get it to light up. Be pretty cool looking. So we're going to get that all situated today. We're going to keep moving, and today, where the hell am I? So we're going to build this section out today. We're going to get it to trim out here. We're going to go over some options as to how we want that to trim out. I think we're going to build this and maybe attach it to the enclosure, keep it all as one piece, and then we're going to, the plan, stay with me here, is I think we're going to take this speaker grill, and I think we're going to kind of mold it into the side so it looks like the enclosure comes out where the grill terminates. We'll make that an insert there so we can still get to the hardware to mount the enclosure once it's all together. It'll kind of minimize the hardware, keep us moving, and just keep it nice and clean, and then the center will just become a plug. I'll just kind of plug in there and be good to go. What we're going to do also, let's show you where DJ's at. DJ been jamming here. So he got floor is treated in here. We did cut a board for the base. What we're going to do, got all those cables cleaned up on the side here. This is all just audio stuff we have left. Doing the audio in here, we actually got some really cool plugs to make that completely serviceable in the front tub. But DJ's got his board here. So this is all the train horn components. Compressor, tank. We got some metal this morning, so we're going to cut some metal. We're going to do that right now, actually, so we can get this thing mounted and in there. Other than that, Lambo. Cool, so I know we've been doing a bunch of time lapse. We're gonna go ahead and kind of explain what we have going on here. So what we did on that side, which I'll kind of show you as we go through it on this side, we took the speaker location for the rear, where our trim panel is going to cut the grill, and we didn't want to do that just because it would look a little silly. So we wanted to try to incorporate it somehow. So what I'm thinking, like we explained in the beginning, is on that side you can kind of see what we did, and you'll watch us do it on this side. But I took the shape of the grill and we templated it. We did that in the time lapse. We took it and then we cut it, not the grill itself, but our template. And what we did is we're going to get the grill to basically roll off of our trim panel onto the panel here, so it looks like the enclosure was formed back here. Let's see. We're just kind of prepping this area right now. We don't want to get any. Oh, actually, I need to pop that grill back in. I'm sorry. So, 1 minute. Be kind of stupid to try to line up the grill without the grill in there. So anyway, this is our grill shape. So essentially what we did is, instead of this guy going back here, we're just going to take and we cut it and rolled it so that way it'll kind of form out onto the panel here, just to, I don't know, kind of respect some of the factory stuff there, and just give some dimension to the enclosure. I mean, we want it to have some shape. We don't want just a box back there. So right now what we're doing is we're just prepping this up. You can see on that side what we did is I went ahead and took the shape, I cut it, we put it in place to clean up the factory grill location there, and then we he actually CA glued it, so we wanted to make sure everything was mounted. But what's up?
Talk to the camera, right?
Talking to the camera.
All right, good.
Yep. Sorry guys, my boss is on my ass. No. What we're doing, we're just marking to set our gap for our trim panel here. Monkey shit. What would have been really cool is if I would have grabbed some screws. I did. They're on that side. So let's see if you guys can see this here while I'm over here. So on this side here, this grill shape, what we did, this is again the shape of the grill. We protected all this. This is actually sitting right over the exact copy of where the factory grill is. We cut it. We've got this side, which is the remainder of the grill, actually onto our enclosure. We CA glued it. We're going to shape this in so it's got some nice contour. Then what we'll do is we'll actually mold this into the enclosure. We'll cut behind this, because this whole cap piece will actually be a part of the enclosure. But when we pop this plug, we'll actually have an access to get back to that M6 bolt that mounts the enclosure. So, and then this will all look form-fitted. This will be a plug, again, just to hide that hardware, but quick access, just so it's serviceable and stuff. Custom work is cool, but if it's not serviceable, it sucks. So, gotta always keep that in mind. So, let's grab our hardware here, jump back over. Yeah, sometimes custom work can be tricky, you know, but the time behind it is really, it's making sure everything is serviceable, you know. And these vehicles that we do, I mean, if we need to pull an enclosure, if the factory needed to service something in here, these are all completely serviceable, and they're not difficult. You know, all of our stuff gets labeled, as you guys have seen, you know, and so it's, I mean, again, assuming one of these vehicles will never go to the dealership, I'm sure, but not this one specifically, but I mean, service work, the maintenance, I mean, it's got to be real, right? So what's up?
What's up?
Making fun of me?
No, absolutely not.
All right. We got this guy.
Just watching the magic happen.
Watching Das Boot.
Das Boot.
Das Boot. So this is essentially how we did the other side here. Got that where we want it. I did? Please? Thanks, homie. All right. So we're getting this marked right now. Got this marked. What we're gonna do is we're gonna put some template tape. This is our kind of two-sided paper tape, which is awesome. So we use for all of our routing stuff. You guys have seen us use this plenty. You can put it down, buddy. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Alright, so get this where we want it. I'm sorry? I sure am. It's all good, dude. So, DJ's picking on us. Alright, so now that we got that, we're going to go ahead and bead some CA glue on here very carefully. We're just going to let that run down there because we want it to fill our whole seam, so it might take a second here. Patience is a virtue. Yeah, so what these will do is we'll end up taking these out of the vehicle as soon as we get this one set. Once these come out, we'll actually do some body work on these just to get them all shaped. Once they're shaped and we know they fit appropriately, we can go ahead and shape them into our panel. Then we'll address all this mess we have at the top here. So we're going to actually shave the enclosure down and mold it all together so it trims out at the factory line here. We wanted to keep everything, you know, we did respect some of the shaping here and the bottom, but for the most part, I mean, the whole back of this car is all basically straight lined. So I mean, not a lot of straight lines, but enough to run with them. So we'll spray ourselves in the face with activator. So just dust some activator on that, we'll hold it. Just give it a couple seconds, because again, we want it to sit down. So once these start taking some shape, it'll make a little more sense. But then our trim panel here, like we described the other night, we're going to cut the hard edges off of this. We'll actually just hand sand some of those off. We do just want to, we don't want a hard line, we just want a slight little round over to it. It should actually be pretty close. Okay, which is perfect. So excellent, so we got that all good. We're going to give these a moment to set up before we pop them off, but we're going to go back into time-lapse mode here. We just wanted to kind of catch up a little bit. So these will come off, we'll get these all shaped together, then we'll shape them into the panel, and this whole section on both sides is actually going to be part of the enclosure. So trim panel will be the insert, and we're actually going to mask that off. We're actually going to fill this seam at the bottom so it kind of transitions into the console here. So, but yeah, we're going to let these set up, go back into some time-lapse mode, and keep on keeping on. So we're going to try to get this trim panel all situated. And next step, we're going to be moving on to some pillars. So we're going to check in with DJ. He's supposed to be getting into, not supposed to, but should be, all things willing, getting into the amp rack today, which will be really, really cool. It's kind of complex, but it's kind of tricked the way we did it too, so it's pretty awesome. But yeah, so stay with us. We're going to go ahead and let those tack up. Crawl through here. So here's what we got. We got these are the side pieces of our enclosure that we're going to attach to the enclosure. And these are our speaker grills that we rolled around. So what we did is we got these prepped and we got them stuck to the board here. We did get them shaped in and stuff. So what we did is we actually wrapped this to do some gapping. So we wrapped it with a two-sided tape that'll be the same thickness as our vinyl. And then we have some just masking tape around it, something that'll help it release once it's molded in. What we're going to do is we're just going to Bondo up to these, and then we're going to let that dry, and we're going to go ahead and sand them down. What we did with this here, this tape, we actually took a bearing from our Mobile Solution rabbit kit. And what we did is we actually marked our line all the way around this. And then we cut the masking tape. So what we did, the reason to do that is we're trying to just control our Bondo line. Basically when we mold this in, we'll go back, we'll peel all this tape, and in a perfect world, we'll have some matching panels. So let's go ahead and get some Bondo. We're going to do these with you guys. With this too, I mean, this might look like a lot of Bondo, but we'd always rather have too much than not enough. You know, that way we can cover it once and keep moving. So, and if you're cool, not like me, you wear gloves so you don't cover your hands in Bondo, which is super awesome. But let's get this stuff moving here. All right, get this mixed up. With Bondo, if you guys are ever doing body filler, it's super important you guys mix this stuff super well. Definitely don't rush it. You don't want soft spots in it and stuff. So it might seem a little cumbersome, a little messy. Just get yourselves prepped and just do it appropriately, you know, it'll just make your life easy. Basically when you're mixing it, you just don't want to see any kind of white coming through it just from the filler itself. You want to make sure it's completely mixed there. Then another good trick too is we leave it spread out on the board. Some people leave it in a big glob, but you leave it in a big glob, it'll tend to heat up quicker, and then you'll lose your play time with it essentially. So I'm just going to spread her up. We're going to go all the way around. We're going to kind of work quick here. Hopefully you guys can see this okay. Now that we got it all around there, I'm gonna go ahead and just drag it. So basically that's what we want. Let's get some more back here. Yeah, so once you got that filled, I mean, it's really that. I mean, Bondo, the problem is you just want to keep playing with it. Let it go. It's all good. It's like Elsa from Frozen, just let it go. My wife will laugh at me for that one. DJ, what you know about Elsa? What you know about Elsa? I'm filming.
Sorry, what you going, Mr. Scott?
Guys,
Mr. Sage.
You guys on your 4-inch tie wrap search, just wanted to let you know I am filming.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Oh, I'm sorry.
It's all good.
I'm trying to say we're gonna have to edit all that stuff out.
Yeah, hopefully not, but yeah.
You alright? If you would have looked in the bin, you would have seen the whole bag of them.
That would have been too easy.
Is this the bag you looking for, Mr. Sage? Now he wants to ignore it. I see. Oh, so you're not time lapse, you're live live?
No, I'm live, yeah.
Okay. Sorry.
It's all gravy.
Don't hold Scott accountable for my actions.
Alright, yep. So we got all that stuff good. As you guys can see, this one was a little, I mean, it's starting to kick a little bit, but so basically we just went in, swiped it all in. What we'll do is we'll go back and we'll peel our tape. We'll do that here in just a minute. I'm just going to get this spreader clean.
Swiper, no swipe.
Swiper, no swipe! My hands are starting to crystallize. Yeah, with the Bondos we use too, we'll actually let that dry for a good little bit. This Bondo is not like most Bondos, so the more it sits, or the longer it sits, the easier it is to sand. And by using that control line with the tape, it'll actually minimize our sanding, making it really easy. That's a Sage weird trick. Super cool. So. Alright, so we could probably actually go ahead and do this now, but watch. We're actually going to go the other way with it here. You want to catch it kind of tacky. You don't want it to be totally hard or it's never going to come up. Basically. So if you guys can see that, what it did is it runs our line, and then what we'll do is we'll just go ahead and we'll just smooth that out. It's super minimal. You know, so. Get a little fold here. Again, doing this, what it does, it just minimizes our sand time. We don't want to sit here sanding forever. So we'll go ahead, now that we got these, we're going to let these kick and keep on moving in the meantime, and we'll check back with you guys here in a bit. Guys, I feel like it's been a long time since we last talked. So we're going to catch up on where we are with the Lambo here. So on the sub enclosure here, we actually got some pieces molded in. So you guys watched us do these in the wood shop. We shaped these all in, and then we actually went back with our mobile solutions. We have a flush trim bit with a larger top bearing, or I guess it'd be bottom bearing, or however you want to consider that. But so we left ourselves about 3/8 of an inch for our plugs to go in here. That's these guys here, which are like basically replicated speaker grills that are going to roll around. What we did, we got a couple pieces of vinyl in here just to do the gapping. With the gapping done, we went ahead and matched these in. So these little curves, these contours here, are actually going to roll onto the panel. They're going to continue on, just to make sure this thing looks like it was supposed to be there. So we're going to take these out right now. We're going to finish this bodywork on here. We can remove our screws and we can go ahead and get these permanently fixed to the enclosure. We did cut these out, I think we touched base on it, but right back there is our M6 bolt that mounts the enclosure. So we wanted to be able to, once these are attached to the enclosure, we need to be able to have an access point to mount this whole assembly. We are going to shape this down once we get these trimmed down, like get the bodywork done on these. So we are going to trim this down to get it to roll into this panel a little bit. So we are going to do a little bit of bodywork there, but we're going to go ahead and do that in the wood shop. We did also get the center section matched to the console. So once we finish the outsides, we'll get that popped off there. Same thing on the other side. So we just got it all protected and mapped in there. So at this point, believe it or not, more bodywork. So we try to minimize this stuff as best as possible. It's just very time consuming. Sometimes it's a necessary evil though, and it gets us all the shape that we need to make it look, just to help it flow. You know what I mean? We want it to look like part of the vehicle. And so, you know, for this aspect, again, just to show you, so the top window line here, and then where it rolls, I mean, everything's flat. So that's why we kept that top edge flat, got the top of the, we kept the top of the trim flat there, because we matched that pocket down there, which flat lines are typically a no-no for us, but in this application, it was the right thing to do. So, yeah, we just want it all to look like it flows in there and looks like it was part of it. So we're gonna go ahead and get these popped out. Hopefully it all comes out decent, and we'll go ahead and get it all shaped, get it back in there. We'll actually shape the centerpiece down while we're in there. At that point, this thing will be ready to remove. Removing it, we're gonna do all the rest of that bodywork in the wood shop. So you guys stay with us. We're gonna keep rolling and hopefully get this thing wrapped up here shortly. So what we got here, we wanted to stop and catch up for a minute. What we're going to do at this point, we have almost 90% of what we need from the car at this point. Let's see. So what we're going to go ahead and do, we actually built some little shoulder pad looking things, if you would, so just to trim that out. So what we're going to do is we're going to get this out of the vehicle. We're going to work this in the wood shop. It's not super awesome trying to work in the back of this vehicle, especially when I'm 6'2". So what we're going to do is we're going to take the trim panel off. We did get a profile on that. I don't know if you guys can really see that, but we did a 60-degree chamfer on it. Thank you again. Shout out to Mobile Solutions. We got tons of bits to play with, which is always awesome. What we're going to do, we're going to get this off. Like I said, we're going to get the woofers out of the box because they don't need to be in there. It was really just to gauge the depth. At this point, we're going to go ahead. We got to Bondo these shoulders in, basically. So we're going to edge this in, so this is flushed in, so it's got a little, so it's capped in like the sides are. I don't know exactly how we're going to do it yet. We're going to look at some options. We might put a board in here and trim it out further down, but we're going to look at it and see what we'd like to do. So maybe we could get clever and put a cap in here and edge it off with the stitch line there. So, but again, we'll look at it. The first thing though, we're going to, again, get the trim panel out, get the woofers out, and we'll do a little more how-to in the wood shop there. So stay with us, we're going to keep running.
your house is mine. My house is your.
All right, guys, we're gonna wrap this one up. We got our, no pun intended, we got our box all wrapped. We got trim panels all done. It's lit. It's ready to get loaded and go back in the vehicle. Show you what we got. This is kind of our finished product here. So again, woofers aren't loaded yet, obviously, but all of our seams came out real nice. That's awesome. So a little bit longer than we anticipated, but I mean, it looks really nice. It was all worth it. So our hex mesh with the lighting. So it should be really, really cool in the car. These panels here, we're still going to test fit them once we get this in there. I think I might need to do a little bit of matching right on the front side of them, but for the most part, we're really happy with this. I'm going to take you over here, show you. We got the frunk piece wrapped. So DJ killed this stuff up here. So let's see. So we got the amplifiers in. We got our top piece all wrapped there. So we did the carpet on the back side there with the Napa on the front. So we do have our badge in here. We're gonna pull that back out. We just put it in there to test fit it and stuff. We are gonna cut that edge down just to get that illumination around it. It's gonna be kind of just like a hairline around that piece lit up. So it looks really, really sharp there. So just nice profiles and stuff like that. I mean, this thing, man, I'm super, super happy with how this thing's coming together. It's a really cool build. So really cool gear, lots of time. Blood, sweat, and tears, DJ and I in this, and Sage, and just really running on this thing. So super happy. We're gonna wrap this video up. I'm sure you guys been waiting for it. So this will be basically enclosure. And next we were filming some of DJ's amp rack. He's been, he's in relay land over here. Labelers and notebooks and relays. Oh my. So yeah, that'll be the next one coming out for you guys. We got the all the cabling he had to do. Wiring those amp racks was really cool, and then getting it all connected in the vehicle. Just again, the way we make these serviceable, it's a cool process for us. You know, we enjoy it. It just makes the install for us. So you guys stay tuned. Glad you stuck through this far. I know this was kind of a long-awaited project, and we're running through it, dude. So you guys stay with us. We're getting close. See you on the next one, and don't forget to subscribe. Oops, almost forgot my plug. Like, comment, all the goodies, and we'll see you guys on the next one.